like we usually do. After the sponsor roll,
wait a couple seconds,
and then start.
Shucks, it's still not picking it up. Oh well, I can at least bring that up. Okay,
I'm gonna see if this thing is humming. Hold on a second.
Oh, it is humming.
It's humming. Okay, so it's probably because it's like in a wait mode. After all, I'm doing it from my phone. We'll figure some things out. I mean, this is the first time doing it with this.
All right,
setup.
Ready, set.
But no, just wait until the sponsorship is done. Then go ahead and click Audacity. So go ahead and start.
Oh, you're not doing it?
Not yet. You'll hear it.
Oh, you didn't cue the sponsor. What am I? Wait, what?
Let me know when you're ready. I'll run the sponsor roll, and then we'll click on Audacity at the end.
Oh yeah, I was saying go ahead and send it.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Tired of waking up at 2 a.m. to get reservations for dining on your next Disney trip that's still 6 months away? Well, head on over to mousemastertravel.com and let them take care of everything while you sit back and relax and wait for your next trip. That's mousemastertravel.com. Why not brew your happy place? That's right. Trader Sam's Coffee Company is the artisanal roaster of specialty Disney-inspired coffees. Why not brew some magic at your home? Some of their coffees include Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight, Enchanted Tiki Coconut, Red-Headed Rum, and of course, so many other unique roasts. Their coffees are certified gluten and allergen-free and feature unique custom artwork by guest artists. Trader Sam's Coffee Company offers an adventure in every bag, so start your adventure off today by visiting them online at tradersamscoffee.com. And the Behind the Ears podcast listeners, be sure to take advantage of this exclusive offer. Save 20% off your first purchase with promo code EARS20. That's EARS20, EARS20 at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. Brew your happy place.
Oh, okay. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears podcast. I apologize. I thought something was supposed to play. That's why I wasn't speaking. I'm Uncle Danny, the other man on the other side of the glass. That is Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, how are you?
I don't. That was it. That was the whole intro. That was for our podcast listeners. We're playing around with some new technology to help us with our streams, and it went pretty well for as long as it ran. Let's just put it that way. But that's okay because we just are trying to do our best here. So that worked out pretty well. But we'll have to work that little bug out later. Not a big deal. Danny, I'm glad to see you back. I mean, last week, missed you here in the studio, and I know we tried to have a couple shows with you on the road, and went pretty good, but we definitely missed you, and we're glad that you're back.
I'm happy to be back. It was a blast.
Cool.
We're about to dive into a Uncle Danny trip report. But where was the monorail thing I sent you? I'm really curious what happened to that track.
Oh, the monorail?
Yeah, the skipping one. That's what I was waiting for.
Oh, well, that was the intro to the podcast itself. I didn't think you wanted that. I mean, you're talking about this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call, and the doors will be closing soon.
That one,
Yes, yeah. That's what I was waiting for to play. That's why it's like Seth. I was like, wait, nope, there's music somewhere.
Manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So yeah, of course. It always works out better during dress rehearsal than it does during the show. We're really glad everybody's here today.
Okay.
You guys are in for a treat.
So Ava asks, where's the alien? Well, ladies and gentlemen,
gotta have the alien.
We have a new addition to the Behind the Ears podcast studio.
Oh, we do?
So my mom was in the attic cleaning out some old boxes last week.
That's true.
And she knew I always had a giant buzz. And I guess over the years it had broke. So we, instead of storing it away, we just threw it away. Look, I found his buddy. Look what I found.
Oh, it's the big guy. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
I mean, I don't know if you could hear this. That is solid plastic.
Was he solid? I thought it would have been hollow.
I think it is hollow, but it's so thick. Like, it's taking strength to push his head in. And I know he speaks, but I didn't have a screwdriver to open up because I'm assuming those batteries are not.
Well, don't push his head in, man. That's not like not cool, you know?
Oh, man. So, yeah. So before we jump into tonight's show, as you all know, we have bumped our shows down to 2 a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays right here. And we're actually going to be doing a mess around show. We'll call it a mess around show. So basically, you heard that cool little intro, and then you heard me asking questions. That's what tomorrow is going to be. Is we have a lot of new technology. If anybody went on my Facebook in the past 3 minutes, there was a giant photo album, 50 photos that just got thrown up there. I'm going to actually, while we're speaking, go back and delete that because that was supposed to be for tonight's show. And for some reason, just, couldn't do that. It did not work out. I'll delete that later. So, tomorrow, right on, it's now, remember that big site we used to call the Disney community page? We told everybody to go bump to it. Well, we've made it simpler for everybody. It is called WDW Community. Very simple to find. If you're not a follower of it and you haven't requested to join, please go do so because that's where we're going to be going live tomorrow night, Wednesday, to just test out some stuff. You guys get to see a very behind-the-scenes show on what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, it won't be a regular show. I mean, we may still get a chance to answer a few questions, and you guys can feel free to interact as much as you'd like. We'll try to interact with you. We're just going to, it's kind of like a test and tune, as the car industry, the car guys usually call it. So it should be kind of fun.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my phone. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go by the pictures of the day so I can remember exactly where I was at exactly every moment of this trip because I don't want to mess that up.
Hey, Leanne, by the way, Leanne was saying that she had a cast member
Leanne
ask her about the button.
Leanne!
Did you actually find Leanne? I take it.
I finally found Leanne.
Oh my God, Leanne! I don't know if you saw the video from last week, but they were going all through Disney Springs, going Leanne. It was really. I'm like to myself, oh my gosh, what in the world are they doing? But they were looking for you, and I thought it was actually really pretty funny. So I'm glad they found you.
Yeah, we will get into the whole Leanne topic later. The fun things that we did while we were there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so I fly in on a Friday afternoon. I flew into Fort Lauderdale, essentially, basically right outside Miami. So Friday, I fly in, and I met up with Alex, and we drove the 3.5 hours back up to Orlando. We actually stayed off site. Alex has this way of getting extremely lucky. And we get room upgrades all the time. So we walk in. We stayed at a Holiday Inn. We walk in. It's 11 o'clock at night. We get up to the front desk. Like, oh, well, we don't have any standard rooms anymore. So we're upgrading you to a family suite. So I'm like, oh, cool. No, that's awesome. We walk in. Alex went nuts because there was bunk beds. There was a queen-size bed, but then there was bunk beds. I need to preface it that we did not sleep in bunk beds.
It's kind of like, was it the movie Up with Tom Hanks? I've got top bunk.
So that was really cool. So we don't do anything that night. We just kind of hung out. We were, that drive is, that's a lengthy drive. And if anybody does that drive up 95 and then over to 527, the Florida Turnpike, that is brutal. So let's step into Sunday. Saturday, we had Cinderella's Royal Table. And as I speak, I was lucky enough to be able to get some of the pictures up there. Cinderella's Royal Table gives you 3-course meal. So you get your drink, and then we get all the princesses come out. Alex was able to take pictures with all of them. And we had some, I'll tell you what, was it expensive? Sure.
but it was delicious.
Ooh,
As you see on the
what
screen right
was
here.
that?
We always try to get 2 different dishes and then we just share.
Of course.
But we ended up getting the same exact dish because seemed like the most appetizing thing. It was absolutely delicious. This was a seared salmon over a risotto. And I'll tell you what, the salmon was really good. It might be the best risotto I've ever had in my life. It was so good. Absolutely delicious. I'm trying to get to so this is like the back side of the menu. We had some fun. It was really nice. Very small dining area. And we did ask about the refurb they're going to be doing. It is a quick refurb. They're only down for 3 days. So I'm assuming it's going to be like upholstery and probably some new paint and everything. That's actually the front of the menu. You can see the photos, right?
I know I can.
Okay, I know some people are saying
other people are saying they see nothing. So
okay. So if they see nothing, then I'm not going to waste my time and do that. They only see Chris, no problem. So we started off, I think, I got a cheesy baked potato bacon soup. And I'll tell you what, it was delicious. It was like a giant baked potato just mushed into soup. I think she got like a salad. Typical. And then for dessert, we got the Clock Strike 12 chocolate cake. And then we got a seasonal cake, which was like a pumpkin raspberry. So it was really good. Would I recommend
raspberry? That sounds different. That's for sure.
Would I recommend it? And I know that's a big thing. If you've got little kids, especially more in the female gender, absolutely. But that could become a pricey meal. I mean, you're talking for a family of 4, if they're both kids, say 2 kids over 10. Talking about you're going to drop $300-$400 in this place.
Oh, it's not
without a doubt. No,
but the thing is, you actually think that it was really well worth it.
Yeah, like I said to Alex, okay, we did it. It was orange and raspberry. Sorry, that's what the cake was. Would I do it again? Yes, but I'm going to need a few years off from doing it. Because it was great, but for a couple, I don't think you need to hit it every time. It's not a Casey's Corner. That's not something. And also, it's very expensive, so it's going to be tough to, do it every time.
It's kind of interesting you say that because it's like I haven't been there. I haven't been there since like our first trip, and so it's been many a moon. And I know like my son's never been there, type of thing. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we've been there. Now I have to ask, like, I know at one time breakfast was supposed to be like an all-you-can-eat type of thing. Not family style, but they'll bring more out too and stuff like that. Anything like that over for dinner side?
No.
No?
And we had the first seating essentially for lunch. We are talking about Cinderella's royal table.
Lunch. Oh, lunch. Okay.
Yeah, we were the first lunch seating because we literally sat 11:55. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was shocked of how much I enjoyed it, but it was odd walking into Magic Kingdom and not being able to go directly to Tomorrowland. You know what I mean? But we were able to hit Tomorrowland right after. And, of course, we got to ride Buzz. We had a fast pass for it. We get on Buzz, and I let her hang around for a little while. I let her thought that she was in the game. She was never in the game. She never had it.
Well, then you should have beat her by more.
I don't want to. Like I said in my post, if anybody saw it, you can't crush their souls that early in the vacation. They're never going to want to go on it again. I'm just saying. But yeah, so we started out with Buzz, which was an absolute blast, and we actually were able to get a fast pass for Jungle Cruise. And during this trip, we actually were able to do Jungle Cruise and Jingle Cruise. But I'll tell you what, Jungle Cruise was an absolute blast. I have not done it in a really long time. The animatronics are the animatronics, you know what I mean? You could tell it's a bit of an older ride, but it was smooth, you know what I mean? And there's some pictures I put up there. It was a picture perfect day.
to the point of some of the pictures I put up there, I even had to take a double look. I'm like, is that a fake backdrop? Like the way the lights were hitting the castle and the blue sky with very light clouding was absolutely crazy. It was just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Let's see. And then I made our way to go check in. We stayed in the Holiday Inn one more night. We didn't really do anything memorable the rest of the day. We just kind of walked around Magic Kingdom, and I will say this about that meal, we were stuffed all day. Absolutely. It filled you up. It filled us up till late that night when we just got some snacks and everything. Oh yes, Alex does bring up a good point. If you are a picky eater and you don't have a broadened palate, I would not recommend Cinderella's Royal Table. Like they didn't have a burger.
More advanced palate, so to speak.
Yeah, you had a salmon over risotto. You had they had like a roasted chicken. Like they didn't have burgers and fries. They had kids menu. They had chicken nuggets and mac and cheese and things like that. But for adults,
you're not gonna pay the adult price to have chicken nuggets.
No. So we're walking around Magic Kingdom. We ended up doing the Country Bear Jamboree.
Really? Oh gosh.
Still love the show, but oh my god, the stuffed heads, their eyes don't stop blinking. And you just hear click, 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 click the entire show. And some of the bears that come up on stage, their eyes were like all lazy, one shut. They need a major refurb on that ride. But this is where the adventure really starts for our trip. Because when we walk out of there, I hear someone yelling Uncle Danny. It was Jessica and her fiance Nick. And from what we met up, we talked, we literally sat there for a little while chit-chatting, and what turned into a few-minute conversation turned into a full week together. We did everything together. We went to all the parks together. We ate together. We went out dancing and drinking together. We did everything from that moment on, from walking out of Country Bear Jamboree, was spent with each other. So, that was the highlight of the trip, is honestly meeting everybody. Don't get me wrong. I loved meeting all of you and taking pictures and buttons and everything. But the friendship that we built outside of the show was, it's a lifetime friendship. So it's absolutely awesome.
Sweet.
But the milestone of that day was making our costumes. Now, you might say, what do you mean? You didn't have your costumes made? Well, no. Here's the thing, is nobody really knows this. That costume that we wore was put together in like a 3-hour time span. Our original costumes was supposed to be, I wanted to be the Yeti from Mount Everest inside of Animal Kingdom, and she was going to dress up as a disco ball, so we were going to be Disco Yeti. But without a mask, and our Yeti's not white, and it just became a debacle. So we literally pieced together those costumes in 3 hours between Goodwill's and Walmart. And the nice thing is, we left the park. Jessica and Nick had a dinner reservation, so we left and we started to drive around and do all that, and it started raining that day. So it worked out well. We were able to, piece it all together, and I know a lot of people love the costumes, something unique, and it just kind of, we had some other ideas. I'm not going to tell you other ideas because there's plenty of Halloweens to come up for us too.
Well, that's actually kind of cool. I actually saw your costume, and I thought, to be honest with you, I've never seen anything like it before. I never saw that combination before. You'll sometimes just see a lady and a tramp or this, that, and the other, but never, that combination of Tony.
No love for Tony.
That's pretty funny. I really thought it was kind of cool. And Alex, I know you're listening. Your costume was equally as cute. That doesn't sound right, because I'm not really calling Danny cute. So yes, just saying.
You heard it a lot. This is embedded in the internet web forever.
Lord, give me a break.
We go back to the hotel that night, and Sunday in my opinion, I know Alex hates when I say this, and Sunday, in my opinion, started the Disney trip because we were able to check into a Disney resort. So Sunday rolls around and we fly over to Pop Century and we check in, and yes, we were able to get a refurbed room. I will start with this because I know it's going to be the first question everybody wants to know. Yes, there was soap, and no, it was not bolted to the wall. So the reports that we all talked about for the longest time, and no, I don't know what rooms these people were in when they were at Pop, but we did not get it. The 70s building is actually almost fully done being refurbed right now. We were able to get some sneak peeks inside that building, and it is days away from probably opening fully as another refurb building. We stayed in the 80s building, and Jessica and Nick were in the 90s building. We both had refurbed rooms. Rooms were absolutely gorgeous. They have a nice 60-inch TV on the wall. The bed, if you like a stiffer bed, the bed is for you. If you're like me and Alex, we like a little bit softer of a touch of a bed. We had, I want to say, it was rough night sleeps. We still slept well. It was just, not what we were, used to. The floor is a laminate. So there is a weird texture to it. I grew up on hardwood floors. My feet are on hardwood floors right now. So when you get on that laminate, you could definitely tell. But I know some of the concerns, Chris, you had voiced was if it was more echoey and if no, it was a typical room. No. And we did opt out for mousekeeping. That was asked to me. I did not have to ask for it. We stayed there for technically 5 nights, but then we added on an extra night, and we got $50. And they email it to you. Check your spam folders, people, because I didn't ever found mine until literally the last day. And I now have a $50 Disney gift card. I hope it doesn't go bad, but it goes direct. It's not, they don't hand you a gift card. It gets literally sent to you via email.
That's I never would have thought that. Is it considered an e-gift card?
Yeah, so like you have to open up your phone when you want to use it, and then the register, they'll scan it off of your phone.
Okay, now just a little tidbit of a note about the e-gift cards. I don't know if it says that you have any restrictions in using it, like if you have to use it on property or what have you. But I know that like some Disney stores don't accept the e-gift cards because they may not be equipped to accept e-gift cards. Mm-hmm. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if you get an e-gift card and think you're going to use it for shopping at home, no, you might as well go ahead and burn it up while you're there.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I'll be back in Disney in a few months, so as long as it doesn't expire, it's not the end of the world.
Gift cards usually don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Yes. Now, Brian had asked a question. Could you put into DisneyGiftCards.com and transfer to a hard card? I heard there is a process to do that. I did not look heavily into it, so I will have to get back to you guys on that one. If you guys really want to know, I'll do some digging for you guys. So let me just scroll here. That's the Halloween party. Okay, so we woke up and we decided we were going to do a morning trip. When I say morning, it's early afternoon. Over to
morning. Yeah, Danny's like, we shall do no work until the crack of noon.
Well, here I normally wake up really early, go to the parks, take a nap, and then stay out all day. This time we decided to sleep in a little bit, but not go back to the room during the day. So, we did it a little bit different this time. So we did MGM. I was able to do a Frozen sing-along. That was the first time I ever did that. Very good. Really did enjoy it. Does anybody else try to catch the snow at the end of the show on their tongue, or is that just me? I know it's soap.
I was going to say, did you realize a little bit too late that all of a sudden it was a little silky on your tongue?
I figured it was going to be soap. I mean,
and that stuff, I'll tell you right now, that stuff is a bear to get off of a camera lens.
Oh, does it just continuously mush in and smear?
It's not fun. It's number one reason why I always carry a filter that I put on the front of the lens. That way I could always, like, if all else fails, I pitch the filter. It's like, I give up.
We did do baseline that day. the new little pub they have over right next to Sci-Fi.
How was it?
Super cute outside seating. They have like the Italian strung lights out there. Plenty of shade, especially in the middle of the day. Not, it is for alcohol. I mean, they have the pretzel that we got. It's a big pretzel, very thick pretzel, and it comes with, either spicy mustard or the beer cheese dip. The beer cheese dip was really good.
Now, where exactly was this? I mean,
it's literally adjacent. It's connected to Sci-Fi.
Oh, that's where they used to have the Writer's Nook coffee shop.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Oh, okay. One, I'm still gonna miss that place. That place was awesome. Two, this may be a new favorite place to go to. So.
Yeah, the beer selection. I mean, they don't really have a lot of the beers that you would see they're a little bit more out there. But the nice thing is when you walk in, if you ask to try something, they will give you could try every beer if you wanted to. It's only a drop, but they want to make sure. I mean, because you're paying for a Disney beer.
Oh yeah, I mean
$10
typical
beer.
I was gonna say a typical Disney beer, $10. Yeah, but I mean, and I'll be honest with you. Everybody could say, "Hey, this is the greatest beer in the world," and if you don't like it, you really honestly don't want to sit there and try to just chug it. It's just not worth it.
We got off of that and we did Muppets. That was fun. I haven't done Muppets in a really long time.
Did you notice some of the new effects that were kind of added to the sides, the lighting effects?
I really remember, I don't really go in that.
It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. Oh, okay. It just seemed like they kind of refreshened it up a little bit. Now, if they could just refresh the movie up a little bit, that would make Muppets good for another 10 years.
I walked by Pizza Rizio, took my picture with the snowman, and kept on walking because I don't eat that pizza. They were surprisingly not crowded at all, though. That's a really large footprint. I don't know if anybody's ever really sat down and thought about it. It is a huge footprint of that restaurant.
Pizza Rizzo?
Yeah, it's huge.
It is. It is a huge place. I mean, both upstairs and downstairs type of thing. And it's, like you said before, they could add a little bit when it comes to some decorations. This, that, and the other. But, Kathy and I have enjoyed going there. And the food actually is really not that bad. I mean, the pizza I think is actually pretty good. It's not Tutto Italia. Mm-hmm. But it's actually, I think it's better than Pizza Fari, and it's probably the same stuff. I don't know.
We headed over to what is still my favorite ride, and I really wish I had my Magic Band to show you how much I like it. But I ended up, I updated my red. Well, all right, let me backtrack for a second. I forgot my Magic Band in New Jersey. Not the end all, my behind the ears one, the one where it actually says BTEP underneath it, the one that I originally got. I forgot it around. I always keep them in my car, and I forgot it. I was just in a rush because normally I park and I have time to get in my car. My buddy dropped me off at one airport, flying into another airport. I completely forgot it. So the nice thing is if you're an AP member, your AP card, which you should always have on you, will let you into the parks, and it is recognized by your finger. I don't know how they did it, but they knew which finger it was. So I was able to get into the park with just my my AP card. And I decided the day before, I was like, you know what? I'm going to spoil myself. I went out and I took a picture of it. You guys can check it out. I went with the yellow Magic Band. And I went with the Tower of Terror theme. So it's Tower of Terror on one side, and it has the iconic and so classy looking logo. And then the other side, it has a couple luggages. Go check it out. I put it up on the WDW community page. It's up there. I'll relist everything later. But Alex does not like this ride. So, Jessica had put in a post a while ago. We all conquered our fears. We all did things we didn't want to do. And this was the first ride of the trip that someone didn't want to do that they actually did. She was able. Now, unfortunately, we got the middle row. I hate the middle row. But I put her all the way against the wall so she has that
that like arm grip that's kind of built up into the wall. And she looks at me and she goes, "Don't think you're using the other hand restraint, because the one that's like on like," and I was like, "I don't need it." The whole time since that ride takes off, I'm, let's go. Like it's my favorite ride. So she conquered her fear for me. She, it's a fun ride. Let's be honest. The ride went down that day, and the Fast Pass line is what shut down. Even till the day I left, I heard rumors, and I cannot confirm nor deny where I heard it from. But we had heard that one of the drive shafts went in the two on the left side of the building, and they said it could be down for a very lengthy period of time. And from that moment, they didn't have fast passes for the rest of the week for it.
I don't know. Do you think that it's time for a major mechanical refurb?
I don't know, but it jumped up to a 200-minute wait.
Wait, 200 minutes?
200-minute wait. I said, I remember this ride is usually 15 minutes.
I think the longest, when Kathy and I went this past July by ourselves, they had a very similar situation where they were only running like one side. And they said it was going to be like a 45-minute wait just for fast passes. And we were in the fast pass lane. And it was about a 35-minute wait in reality. That was actually pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. The line was zigzagging all the way into like the little graveyard they have out front. Into the shaded area and everything, and we just blew right on by them. After the ride, they started doing something new, and I had to look at my phone, but it's called the Hollywood Tower of Terror book. I don't know if you can. No,
oh yeah, where they basically you have a guest book that you sign.
Yes, that's something I've never seen. So Uncle Danny, literally right when you walk out, where they have the little Stitch with the little bellhop hat on, lady standing there, and we just kind of walked up to her like, "What's this? Would you like to sign the book?" I was like, Uncle Danny and Behind the Ears podcast would love to sign the book.
plug.
So, at this moment, there is still Halloween stuff up. We're talking about, this is now the 29th. There is no Christmas stuff up in sight. So that night we were able to head on over to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Like Chris had said, I dressed up as Tony. Alex dressed up as Lady from Lady and the Tramp. And then Nick and Jessica joined us. Jessica was Dumbo, which was hilarious because Jessica's like 5'0" and 6 pounds soaking wet. And Dumbo's this giant animal. And then Nick, who is, big, burly, bearded man. Like, you guys think I'm big. No, I never forget the first time I met him. I looked at Alex. We walked away. I was like, he makes me feel small. Like he's like 6'3". He is just a man's man. You know what I mean? I was like, oh. And he dressed up as Timothy the Mouse. You know what I mean?
So it must have been opposite day.
They absolutely nailed it. So we were there on the 29th. I think it was like $100 ticket buy-in. Once again, I filmed the Boo to You parade. I don't know why no one listens to me. Go up on the train station. It is the best spot to view anything you want to watch parade wise. But it was the first time that I was able to go through that little annex over by Tony's. Like, and they were, they didn't want you going down Main Street. They pushed you through there for the Halloween party to start. And that's when they gave you like a sealed bag of candy and you started your time. They had like some of the pictures up there and everything, take some pictures. And that's where, you got your little bag and you were ready to go. It was not overly crowded. We rode basically anything we wanted to ride that was open. We got more candy than I knew what to do with. Yes, Jessica and Nick are the people you took a picture with, Leanne. It was a calm night, and everybody seemed to really go to the 8:30 showing of Boo to You. So by the time the later one rolled around for us, it was ridiculous. Over by Buzz Lightyear, they had some of the Zootopia characters out. They had Mike Wazowski and Sully were out doing like a little dance party and everything. That was cool. They let you take some selfies with them. And then we that was the whole night. We stayed there till park close. We closed that puppy out. We got pounds and pounds of candy. We hit up everything. They did have an exclusive set of pins. Jessica and Nick were able to get 3 out of the 4. And I think if you wanted the full 4 set, it was like $150. But like they were the thick ones where you can actually open them to something else. I always love the Halloween party, and honestly, to me, it's getting better and better as time goes on. Then we head back to the room, and then the next day we rolled over into Epcot. We rode Figment. That was the first time I've been on Figment in decades. It was probably since like early 2000s, maybe not decades, but early 2000s is the last time I actually rode that.
Okay.
And then obviously it was Wine and Food Festival, so there goes my paycheck for the week. I don't even know where to go. I got the Grand Marnier slush, obviously.
Yes.
I will tell you this. The last time I had it, I might have had a few drinks prior to that. So this was my first drink of the day. It's
Like
not
actually
good as
really
like I really tasted it and I was like, ooh. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't what I remember being good. You know what I mean?
What do you remember envisioning a something specific, and how was it different?
I remember it being very creamsicles, and this time I tasted a lot of the Grand Marnier.
Yeah, I've never had that creamsicle type of effect to it. I've always had the, I'll say heavy on the liqueur.
Yeah,
even though it's a slushy and it's already pre-mixed, so it's not like they put more Grand Marnier in it. But yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to.
Oh yeah, and by the way, during the Halloween party, Alex had gotten the specialty pumpkin flavored Mickey waffles over at Sleepy Hollow. They looked so nasty. God bless you for eating that. So back to Epcot.
You didn't try it?
No. I'm not a pumpkin guy like that. You know what I mean? But we did get the what is that? The potato soup from Canada?
No, they have a cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese soup. That's what they, and with like that little breadstick.
And they make it with oh my gosh.
It was really, really good. The beef
so
tender was really
all I know is I saw a picture of that cup of soup with that big pretzel stick in there. Yeah. And I'm like, I just like you. I was like, and the problem of it is that after I saw it, I was like hungry the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is so good. I'm sorry, but I interrupted you, but you also had the tenderloin, you said?
Yes, I said the tenderloin was really good. Fan favorite of mine is always the egg rolls. I want to actually kind of do a full show on the Epcot Wine and Food Festival on egg rolls. So I'm going to kind of skip over the Wine and Food Festival because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, things that I liked and things that I didn't like.
Okay.
So I'll get back to it because, I mean, we had shrimp scampi, we had Belgian waffles, we had piggy wings.
What are piggy wings? I just saw that come across my screen.
I'm so hungry right now. Oh,
piggy wings. I mean,
it's pork. Okay. Fried pork on like a stick. No, it wasn't even on a stick. It had like the bone in it, and it had like the sauce. We gotta talk about it later when I'm not hungry.
I don't even know what it is. My mouth is like watering.
So we walked up and saw Mulan. No line. No one was even in there because Alex wanted to show us the echo. If you stand in the center of the building and you say something, there's an echo, and she's just standing there. No one's around her. Like, we had to take a picture. They're like, yeah, that's what this is for. Poor lady just standing there. We got pictures with her, and then we actually walked around and looked at all the Shanghai stuff. We got to see, the Buzz Lightyear and the maps, and it was an absolute blast going in there. Took a lot of pictures, watched the videos. If you haven't gone back in that area in China, definitely go check that out. There's a lot of stuff back there. We also were able to do the Neon Lab,
Oh,
Light Lab. Is that what it is?
I know what you're. There's like there's the neon bar. It's like a bar, right?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
have
I've seen that. But where is that though? I keep seeing pictures and I can't place it.
It's on the other side of Coca-Cola. Light Lab, that's what it is. Yes, Light Lab. I knew I was right around it.
Other side of Coca-Cola.
Like you got Starbucks, it's like literally on the other side. Just on the other side of the building. You could use it as a cut through. Yeah, behind Club Cool.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. You could use it as a. Okay, yeah. So like instead of if you're coming over from World Showcase and you're going to go into Club Cool, just instead keep going bank to your left, and it's in that longer hallway.
And it breaks off into stairs down there. But if you keep going straight into that hallway where the cut through is, there's a couple exits there. They also have a setup with all beers in there too.
Now you say stairs. Do you have to go upstairs?
No, you go down. You go down like sets of stairs.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh, you okay? That's right. Because you're talking about for. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
I know everybody keeps talking about my shirt. I'm trying to hide it because the shirt's not supposed to come out till later. So, sorry. Yeah, Old Body Wars area, very very good. So the Light Lab was really cool. They have specialty drinks, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, the whole 9 yards. I didn't get anything in there, but it was a really really cool area. I know Alex got a drink in there. Would I recommend? Is it a must do? No. It's really not. It was completely empty. All the pictures I've always seen is completely empty. If you're passing by and you've got the time, yeah, sure, why not? Now we didn't, we caught that tail end of Illuminations. So I mean, I would recommend getting a better seat for Illuminations than doing that. But I mean, if you're there in the middle of the day, why not? Why not go mess around in there? So much food, but like I said, we'll do an entire show later on that. So, that was the 30th, and then came around was we decided that night, we're like, you know what, let's just keep walking. So we walked the backside of World Showcase and we exited it over into Boardwalk. And that was the first time I was finally able to go to Abracadabra. Let me tell you about Abracadabra, okay? They have the smallest hours I've ever seen in my life. They open at 4 and they close at 10. And I asked the bartender, I'm like, why do you guys close? And he said, because they don't serve food and there's 4 other bars that are on that strip right there.
Okay. So you have ESPN.
Yeah.
Big River.
Mm-hmm.
Jelly Rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And them.
And one more.
Oh, and Flying Fish.
Well, I didn't even count that because that's more of a sit-down restaurant than a bar.
Oh, but you're also talking about the dance hall.
No, because that's not necessarily open all the time. There's the bar inside Boardwalk. Bell, whatever the heck that name is.
I know where you're talking about now. Yeah. I
literally almost fell asleep at the bar. I was just so tired that night. Really cool menu. Let me see. I got a couple of their drinks pulled up here. They've got a Whodunits Punch, Captain Morgan, orange juice, pineapple, and coconut. Let's see. Elixir 13, a Parlor Trick, Magic Hatton, Collins Double, Seashore Sweet, Pepper's Ghost, a Sour Assassin, and Magic Mirror. And they have really cool effects. Like they have all these pictures up on the wall, and every like 20 or so minutes, the pictures fade away. One of the pictures, and it almost seems like they're dying on the way out. Super cool. I really enjoyed it. I wish they had some food and maybe a longer wait, longer operational hours, but it wasn't bad. We actually passed by Flying Fish. It was the first time I've seen it since the redo. Gorgeous inside.
Was Abracadabra busy?
No. There was 2 people at the bar. Both times we went in there. 2 people at the bar, and it was the 4 of us. We closed the place out. And we went again. I'll talk about it in a few minutes. We went again, and it was dead. Supposedly Friday nights and Saturdays are their busiest nights. We never made it there on a Friday or Saturday. So, it's tough to say whether, there's, like the guy said, there's a lot of options there. There really is.
So it's hard to really, narrow it down. They're the new kids on the block. I found out how bad Apple iPhones are taking pictures at night compared to some of the Galaxies out there. So Apple, step up your game. Swan and Dolphin, when you're driving up the Swan, they have all those palm trees. At night, they light them up with a purple light. Absolutely gorgeous. We have some really great pictures of it. That's when we decided we were going to take a minivan. And we had to go inside because Disney has to basically unlock it for you so you can get to it. So I know you said you had some odd prices, some high prices to go back and forth with things.
Like Uber-wise you were talking about?
Yeah. I don't know why yours were so expensive because we got an XL. We got picked up the first time in a Suburban. So we got the biggest thing they offer to go from, where did we get picked up? From Yacht Club to Pop cost me $10.
Well, most of the trips I took with Uber was about a $12 fare, but I also tipped nicely.
Yes, that was what we, yeah.
I mean, that was a big thing. Most of my, in fact, just the other day, I was looking through some of my statements and saw that it was like both of them were between $12.50 and $13. And mind you, I was going, one time was from Animal Kingdom Lodge to the Contemporary. The other one's from Animal Kingdom Lodge to Saratoga Springs. Obviously, those are like, Animal Kingdom Lodge, you're at literally one of the far corners of property.
Yeah.
And those other two locations were virtually the opposite ends of the property. One was towards the northeast quadrant. One was basically directly east. So, if I wasn't such a generous tipper, it would have been very reasonable, but I still think I would do a minivan.
Yeah, but that's what makes the show great because you don't realize A, how close Pop is to Boardwalk. Pop is very close. And B, I more prefer to save the money than do the minivan. Like, we really want to do the minivan. We really should have done it for the show. I just couldn't justify paying almost $10 more for a minivan compared to an Uber.
I don't blame you.
Everybody's going to do things differently. But next day we went into Animal Kingdom, and it was the first time Alex has been able to see Pandora in the day. We spent a lot of the day in Pandora. We did both Flight of Passage and the Navi River ride. We learned a couple tricks with the Flight of Passage on how to properly fit inside of the ride. So hopefully, next trip around, everything will work out swell.
Still, did you learn?
If you have bigger legs, it's not the size of your upper body, it's your legs. You want to because there's a padding that kind of digs into your upper thighs. When you go in there, you need to slide in, scoot your butt up, and go on your tippy toes. Let them lock your legs in, and then relax down and let them squeeze you in and lock your back in. That's for people with bigger legs, though. It's not even the legs. It's for people with really big feet. The feet are what's happening. You have to angle your feet up and down to get in there.
What you just described is exactly what I did.
Yeah,
and it worked out absolutely fine. I mean, I'm a big guy, and so we'll have to see how it works out next time. I'm hoping next time it won't even be an issue because I'm on this thing called a diet. But that's a whole nother show.
Story for another day.
Yes,
we really didn't do much inside out. We didn't eat in Animal Kingdom. Well, of course we rode Everest, but we didn't do the safari. We didn't do Cali River Rapids. We didn't stay for a nighttime show. We did do Dinosaur. Dinosaur just throws you around like usual. And Jessica faced a lot of fears because Jessica's scared of her own shadow. She doesn't like the actual dinosaur. There's a picture I'm going to put up there, and we're all doing the fake Jessica's face is pure fear. It is like a child's fear when they first see an evil clown. Like, this girl was petrified that we had to put her on the other side of the ride vehicle so she was nowhere near the dinosaur.
So her fear was genuine.
And also we were on Flight of Passage together, and Jessica doesn't like Soren, deathly afraid of Soren. She rode Soren with us. So she's never been on Flight of Passage. So she comes on, she's asking me and Alex questions, and we didn't want to say anything about it, because she got really freaked out on Soren years ago when the giant whale comes out of the water. Well, we didn't want to tell her that there's a giant whale that comes out of the water. You know what I mean? So we're on this ride, and she is screaming on the top of her like she wanted nothing to do with it. But it was, you know what? It was still a lot of fun. I'm glad Alex got to see it during the day. Still not thoroughly impressed with Pandora, but that's just my personal opinion. So that night we ended back up and we did Disney Springs. We walked around and we went to Homecoming, the restaurant Homecoming. Great restaurant, some really cool drinks, a little pricey, but the food was absolutely gorgeous. And then what day are we on? That would have been the 30th. And then the 31st, right? Is that where we're at? I don't even know what day we're on anymore. Yeah, that was the 31st, where we ended up in Disney Springs and everything. And then we closed it back out by going to back to Epcot area. We went over to the boardwalk. We did the DJ. They had a DJ party outside of the boardwalk. They had a nice little bar set up out there. We went back and we closed down Abracadabra again, and that was the night that we ended up. We wanted to go to Jelly Rolls. I'm not paying a $12 cover charge to go sing karaoke. I'm sorry.
Are you serious? It was a $12 cover?
Yeah. So we went right across the street. Well, literally right across the boards, and we went into dance hall. It wasn't packed. There was 20 of us in there.
I was gonna say it wasn't packed. It looked like there was 6 of you in there.
There's like 20 of us.
I mean, and people that are watching, people that are listening. The funny part is that Jessica started to live stream from there. So me being Mr. Chris, I said, I was watching and I said, I want to join Jessica. Bink. And she's like, hey, Mr. Chris. I'm like, hey, Jessica. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. Actually,
it was a blast.
It looked like you guys were having a great time. And I was cracking up at the fact of you trying to dance. I just thought that was pretty funny.
I have no rhythm. We did get to meet Donald Duck. He was dressed as Davy Crockett. Okay. They had some cool stuff for Halloween at the hotel, so I kind of wish we would have experienced a little bit more. But that night got a little out of control. But we're adults, so we all slept in the next day a little bit. Actually, I didn't go to the parks until like 6 o'clock that night. Alex ended up. We had breakfast together, and then she had to go back to Miami. So I ended up. So we're talking November 1st, right? I end up in MGM at night, fully decked out in Christmas stuff. Couldn't believe it. I was astonished. I mean, they had the Christmas tree up in Echo Lake. It was fully decked out Christmas gear. I had an absolute blast. Didn't ride a single thing. Out of choice. I just walked around. I literally just had so much fun walking around.
I think that
I was just looking at the time. I just realized what time it was. That's all.
I think that's actually kind of cool that you got a chance just to kind of chill and do something that most people tend to forget to do, and that is enjoy the atmosphere.
Yeah, you really do need to enjoy it, though.
But now, did they have Christmas music playing like everywhere? See, okay. I love the Christmas decorations. I totally get it. I love Christmas music. It's fine. The problem of it is that when you're there at all the parks during Christmas time and all you hear is Christmas music, it tends to drive you nuts because it's like constant barrage of Christmas music. I miss the background music. That's just me. I'm not saying I hate Christmas music or anything like that. It's just I miss Disney's background music at all the different parks.
Fair enough. I can respect that. I'm actually going to cut us off here because we like to stick to a schedule, and we're at that mark. I talked a little too much. You
had a long trip though, dude.
This was the longest trip I've had in a while. I will do this. There's a few minutes left. We'll figure out. It's most likely not going to be this week. It'll have to be next Tuesday. We'll do the second half of the trip, which gives us a little bit chance to put some pictures up and figure out what's going on. But the shirt everybody wanted to see what I was wearing was I actually bought myself a Christmas shirt. And Chris, talk for a second.
Well, let me go ahead and just tell everybody what we got planned for Thursday's show. First off, we're going to start off with, we're going to come back to a little bit of the trivia. We're going to come back to doing some news articles for you guys. And then we're going to have a special guest with us because we actually got a few people asking us about what's it like to do a Disneyland Paris trip. Now, Danny and I haven't done it. However, my daughter Virginia has, and she's going to join us from the other side of the Mississippi, and she's going to tell us about her trip to Disneyland Paris and do some comparison and contrast. It should be a really fun conversation with her. But also Wednesday, like we talked about, and we're going to start doing these little test and tunes on Wednesdays just until we get some things right. You can join us over at the WDW community page, and we're going to try out a few things. Now, just remember, because we're testing, there's a good chance that, we might get cut off. You might hear feedback. You might hear some 4-letter words. I don't know. It's just one of those things. We don't know what we're still learning a few new products that have come our way and that we're willing to try out. So we hope that you join us for those two episodes later this week.
Okay. So this was my gift to myself.
What's that?
And I'm from the Northeast. You got to remember, it gets cold up here. So I bought myself a long sleeve shirt. Okay. And this is going to be the front logo. Where is it? I don't want to... So as you can see,
that's cool.
Logo, and it's very Christmassy.
Yeah, it is.
1971. It's not a thick material, but it's it's heavier than a t-shirt material. It's in the middle, and then this is the back.
Oh, I've seen that. So you did get that. That's a great shirt, man.
And I actually got Alex the matching one, but not in Christmas. She got the all black long sleeve, but instead of like the plaid, she just got the all white lettering.
Well, that sounds like fun. Especially taking into consideration, for her, isn't winter like, I don't know what, 3 days maybe? And,
oh my God, I can't believe I didn't say this. So all those pictures you saw me on Halloween dressed up, I had a jacket on the entire night. It was 43 degrees in freaking Orlando. I was so cold. I had gloves and a sweatshirt on the entire night. Meanwhile, Jessica and Alex are running around like it's nobody's business. And I'm like, you're out your own minds.
Take into consideration where Jessica's from. I mean, she's kind of like, where she lives, kind of like where I live. And that is, until it hits about 25 degrees, you don't put jeans on. You're still in shorts until about that. I'm wearing a muscle shirt and a pair of shorts right now here, and it's cold outside.
Listen, from the Northeast. I thought we were going to get snow today. But Jessica got the Christmas one. You know what? I'm sure the minute we end this show, I'm going to have Alex, Jessica, and Nick all literally berating me with messages. I can't believe you didn't talk about this. So next week, we will cover part 2 of Uncle Danny's trip. And I'm sure we'll have some more stuff going on with some of the trip report. So with that being said, guys, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. Facebook is Behind the Ears Podcast, Instagram Behind the Ears Podcast, Twitter Behind the Ears PC. Why don't you guys step on over to our redesigned page over on Facebook called WDW Community. Walt Disney World Community, but just use the initials, WDW. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Behind the Ears Podcast. Also, don't forget to rate and review
our show over on iTunes. With that being said, make sure you sweep your floors, hang up those Christmas lights, break out the Christmas tree, and drink some cranberry juice. I am Uncle Danny, signing out.
And I'm Mr. Chris. We're so glad that you're here. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. Hey, you know what? While you're over rating and reviewing, go ahead and subscribe to the show. You can do that on Apple Podcast, iTunes. You can also do it Google Play Music. You can go over to TuneIn Radio. You can ask Alexa or the Google Assistant to play the Behind Ears podcast, and they'll take care of it for you. It's going to be, the easiest way that you can get to us, your favorite podcast. So I'll tell you what, until we meet again, hopefully it'll be soon, we hope that you have a magical day. Take care.